Good evening, guys and gals. Good evening. Good evening. This is Spirit Journey. Today is, what's that, Monday, May 23rd, 2022, and the time is now 7:43 p.m. I'd like to share an experience I had today, something that I witnessed. And it was quite liberating for me. And what I'm going to share, again, I have to be careful. My purpose of doing this live stream is not to, it's to break old patterns. Um, we've all been programmed. If you live in the USA, you probably have been programmed. Uh, I was programmed to just say nothing, allow people to take advantage of myself, and not speak out. Um, Taught that certain groups were more important than me, and then there's a time in your life your eyes start to open, and you start to see inconsistencies around you, and the anger starts to develop. It's an awakening, and awakening happens in stages. First, it's like, the initial exposure, and then maybe you make excuses for what you see or denial, and then you see that it's not giving, it's not changing, and it's still occurring. It's not like a one time event. You may start to see patterns, and then the fool, like, what? And you feel like maybe stupid, angry with yourself, and and then the anger starts to turn outward. And I would say that's where I am at this time. Like, events after events, you start to really see what makes up certain individuals. You have individuals, and you also have groups. And sometimes the behavior is common within a group. It does not mean that all are like that. But being raised here in the US and believing certain things about certain people, like hands off, you can't, like a sacred cow. And then you realize that that sacred cow is really a big pig. And you see that they're not perfect. They're just like anybody else. But maybe you held them at a higher level. And then one day you really see what they really are. And that maybe you started, before your awakening, you might have taken it out on yourself and you hate yourself because of the lies. And then you start to, when you see the inconsistencies, the lies, and say, hey, I'm not such a bad person after all. And then you start to see the goodness that's in yourself. And, hey, well, really, you know, I'm no different than anybody else. You have the good, you have the bad, and everything in between. That's where I'm coming from. And so it's not to preach hate, but to express my journey. This is a spiritual journey, an awakening. It's a process. It's a journey, and that's what I want to talk about with what I saw. I saw I well um, prior to the incident, I was a little cranky. I had a lot on my mind and thinking what I really want to do with my life And I was walking my dogs at Central Park in the Ramble, and I was a little grumpy with them. And they're pulling and tugging and, you know, getting, I don't want to trip over the leashes and everything, and et cetera, et cetera. So I was a little cranky. Um, and then I was to exit the park. Um, and I had dropped the little doggy bag, where they, the potty, and just throw it in the garbage, in the receptacle. And right next to the receptacle was this fountain. Well, it was a couple, a white couple, and I'm seeing the couple. They could have been in their 30s, early to mid 30s, and they have a dog. It could have been a Labrador breed. And the girl, the female, is behind the dog to assist the dog to go on its hind legs so it could reach the faucet, even though that fountain, public water fountain in the park, has something behind it just for little dog, for dogs. It's attached to the fountain, and you can drink out of that. The dog and my instincts tell me that they've been to this park plenty of times, and they were pretty savvy, and they would have known that thing was right behind it, and they can drink up. But they love their dog so much, and they wanted their dog to drink out of the faucet, the water fountain, public water fountain, and like to have the head of the nozzle is like bent this way, and he does it. And I'm just in disbelief. And the guy, is in front of the dog, opposite the fountain, like he's watching. They're all right there, huddled together, like he's watching, protect, and make sure no one interferes with this doggy drinking, lapping up the water at the head of the water. I can see someone, cupping their hand, fill their hands with water, and then having the dog, drink it out of their hand. That'd be cute. And I looked in disbelief. I saw something like this before. Another Caucasian woman doing this with a big ass dog. Same park, but different location. The first time I saw that, I didn't say anything. And I did have I think I recorded it. And I was angry. But this time, being that I was already a little cranky, yes, hello, viewer. Good evening, good evening. Yes, see, I was already edgy because I had a lot of things on my mind, and my dogs, get on my nerves a little bit. It happens sometimes. But I love my dogs. Yeah, they're relaxing right now. They're taking a nap. Yeah. Um, this is the first time I ever spoke out, and I was amazed. See, something? Anger could be your best friend, especially if you're someone who was raised to always bite your tongue, stay quiet, don't make waves. There's a time when you got to speak out. I mean, I've spoke out in general before. That's why I probably got in trouble a lot of times. But I felt justified to speak out this, really justified that I had a right to speak out. And I didn't have the fear that I usually have. Because see, when you're anger precedes you. Anger, anger could be your best friend. But with anger, you don't do violence. And with anger, you keep in control. Okay. So, um, I was looked in like disgust, and my mind is racing and angry at them. And I was already annoyed, and I'm just leaving the ramble, and I'm seeing this disgusting thing. They look like, middle class type people who live on the west side, will probably drink their Starbucks all every day, one of those type. And I mean, they're dressed casual, and I stood, I was maybe 10 feet away from them, staring at them. And I had my dogs in the stroller, two of them in the stroller, and one that was out, but I shortly put them in the stroller too. And I said, now that, I just thinking about it. I looked at them, and the dog is lapping out the water on the public fountain. And I said, that is so fucking nasty. And I usually don't use profanity. Yeah, I did. I used the F word. I did. I see, when I was young, I never used to curse. And I was slapped once before because I said the S word, and it was by accident. And, I said that when I think about that person who slapped me, the F themselves, okay? It was a pervert. See, you have perverted people who want to make judgment on you and subjugate you, and here they're doing nasty things behind closed doors. I found out. You know, I so it's. I think it could be a good thing to really learn. People like myself to really learn how to express yourself. And I was in total disbelief what I was watching and disgust. And I'll explain also why I was disgusted by the obvious. I said, that is so fucking nasty. Why you have your dog drink it out of the fountain? And they just continue. And they just looked, I think the guy kind of looked a little bit, and then they pretend to ignore me. I said, that is so nasty. So I said, look, I have this stroller, so if my dogs are tired, I put them in the stroller. And look, and I showed them this thing of water designed for, to feed your dog water. It has like a little cup. I've showed it to you before. I said, when they're thirsty, I give them this. It's inexpensive. You could have at least done this. And then they just walk away. They pretended like they never acknowledged me. They avoided eye contact with me, and then they just started walking away with the dog. And then I started walking, and I say, this there, and I started using yes, I did the F word at them. I said, that is real effing nasty, nasty. I said, in fact, I don't even want to walk next to you on this side of the street. I did. I was so angry at them. I didn't just pretend nothing happened. And I just started I think I stopped walking to let them keep on going forward. And then they crossed on the other side of the street, and then they exited out of the park. Yeah, it was at the maybe 74th Street exit or 76th Street exit, around there. Right at the exit of the Ramble on the west side. And I wanted to get one of the park. Yeah, I talked to. Oh yeah, I talked to a parks person there. The people maintain the park. Yeah, so they exited the park, and I kept on going my route. And I saw a parks person. I said, I said, I just want to let you know something what just happened. I said a couple had their dog looking out of the water fountain, and so I'm letting you know. And then I just started just move. Yeah. And I told her, I said, look, if here people like them may think I'm a bad person because of my skin color, and yet they're gonna do something like that. It was nasty, and I'm sick and tired of people like that. Something to that effect. And so I'm just letting you know because that's what's just happened, and so that you can clean it, because it's exerted now. And then I left. And so, why it affected me the way it did, yes, I was already cranky because early I have a lot of things on my mind that I'm not sure how I want to handle certain things with my life. And then the dogs. But what they symbolize me, see, you have people here in New York City, in New York, America, and growing up, you have some white people who, in policy, make you feel that you're inadequate, make you feel that you don't belong, make you feel that they're better than you. I went to a high school, and one of my favorite teachers said, black people are inferior to whites, but Asian people are superior to white people. In the classroom, it was a sociology class, I think it was, something like that. And I remember how I felt. So they say what they're implying when they say something like that. There's something innately wrong with you. And even if you do well on a test, there's still something wrong with you because of your race. And this is the what I was brought up in school. And I never told my parents about it because I felt because they've been, in my opinion, brainwashed too by the system. They're old school, and everybody's right, but me, and if you complain about things, you can get hit by them, you know. So I learned to just keep quiet about it, not verbalize my upset. What else? Working in an environment where you're mistreated. Some companies, early in my adult life, employment life, harassment by white women. Just even though you're there to help them on a project, it's just the hostility, and they go out their way to make you uncomfortable. And it's a lot of things. And the thing is, what's being conveyed is I'm better than you, and that that I have a right to do this against you. And after a while, you just you feel bad and wonder what you can do to make things better. But there's a time when you just gather in yourself and then start to observe things. I started to learn how to observe people. Um, I mean, not like obviously staring at someone, but I mean like to start to really think about why you believe what you believe. You start to see inconsistencies. That if they're so superior, why they're so messed up? Yes, they may have more material goods than a lot of blacks in America, but this country is going down the tubes. And some of the things that they're doing don't make sense. And you start to see their flaws. And I remember asking myself one time, what makes you, I said to myself, what makes you so better than everybody else? And I looked at the person. And the person was a middle-aged white guy on the train. He looked like coming home from work. He looked really tired. And I just saw a man who was just really tired, uh, feeling vulnerable maybe, edgy. He was just a regular man, just a regular human being. He was no one superior to anyone, just an individual. And so I started thinking, you're no different than me. We have our good days, our bad days, um, and just listening to what's around you, conversation, and people are. I just started to see people for what they really are, and trying to go beyond that illusion, the illusion of superiority, the illusion that they have money, the illusion that they're supposed to all get good grades or all high IQs. That's not so. And when you leave the US mainland and you start to see how some white people act outside of their comfort zone, you really start to see the truth in their nature. I lived in different places. Um, I lived in Hawaii, the island of Maui. I lived in the West Indies, the island of St. Thomas. And I saw a lot of inconsistencies. I saw a lot of uh, evil behavior. And I had to live with some white people. And the evil that they did to me. And it's like, you don't even have to say one damn thing. And that they, these individuals, went out that way um, because they're taught that no matter what, they get the last word and that they have a right to retaliate against you if you don't submit to their garbage. And so all these things, I'm not going to go in details about that, but all this thing that I had to live under, and coming back to New York City, and the things that I saw. Now, there's no perfect race. There's no perfect individual, and there's a lot of flaws in a lot of groups, and a lot of flaws in the black race that I belong to. But seeing this white couple having the dog lap up the water from the fountain, even though there's something where dogs could drink, and that how they were so guarded to make sure their dog, their big dog, to do this. And I, I wasn't afraid. They couldn't pretend that it wasn't happening. I'm standing and watching. They didn't say, "Oh, I'm sorry," nothing. They said absolutely nothing, and avoided eye contact, and never even sniffed. Nothing. They just quietly walked away as if nothing happened. They didn't run. They didn't even, they took their sweet time. But their facial expression was like, uh-oh. They kept real quiet. And it's like, wow, how often did they do that? How often did they do this behavior? And they can't say, so and so, mind your business. It is my business. Isn't this the age of C-19, and now this monkeypox that's coming out? Is doesn't that isn't that doesn't that say something about their wisdom or lack of it? Hygiene, basic hygiene in this era of time. It's just beyond. They weren't even they weren't even teenagers. These are people like in their 30s, and they left in the park, 70s area on the west side. That's money. That's a money area. They know better, and they don't care. And so that's what really got me angry. And I just spoke the truth. I said, that is effing nasty. It was. So, my sharing this again is, it's about breaking the the bondage of the program. We're all programmed. I definitely was programmed to hate every aspect of myself growing up. And now, I accept myself. I like myself. Um, there's some things that I couldn't change, but I'm learning to be comfortable in my body. I'm glad that I look the way that I do. I'm glad, I'm learning that sometimes things happen in life, but it could be a learning lesson to help prep you for the next level in your life. And so that's how I see it now. Um, and to be able to speak out in truth to people who are a bunch of hypocrites. See, that is effing nasty. You know better than that. They knew better and they didn't care. And to see that there are people that you may have worshiped growing up because they teach you to worship these type of people, and then your eyes, the scales are removed from your eyes and you see, and you say, if I did that, I would be, oh, look at that nasty woman, right? That's how they made us feel, that just because of what we look like, our so-called race or hair texture, that we were innately bad. But look at you. Look at you. And so the desire to even want to live next to them, I don't feel it. And I'm not just trying to be biased. I'm not. See, when your eyes get open on individuals' behavior, and when that behavior is done as a collective, that's what I'm talking about. A decent person is a decent person, because there are nasty black people as well. There's nasty people in every group. And so breaking the walls of being programmed, um, and just accepting certain things as being okay, it's not okay. And I felt like it was I had to speak out. I had to call it for what it was, a nasty behavior of this couple. And yet they just walk away. And what's interesting, people would probably want to cater to them because of what they are. And when they go to a restaurant, they be catered to. And sometimes people that look like me may not be treated well. But if they would have known what these people are like, you have to start open up your eyes. All races need to open up your eyes and learn how to see people as individuals and go beyond the illusion. What are they really about? Who are these people? What are they really about? And that's what it's about. Being able to learn how to see, and when you do see the truth, say, thank you for revealing that to me. Yes. There are all types of people out there. And I want to learn I want to love people, all types of people. But also I have to learn to love myself. Learn to love yourself. Because you have people who want to look like them, bleach their hair, bleach their skin, do all types of things, and not appreciate what God, or I should say the Creator, gave them. Appreciate yourself and start teaching your children to appreciate who they are in the mirror. Enjoy you. Enjoy your health. Not everybody that you see is what they really are. But the lies and the illusion is what perpetuates their popularity. If I had my camera, see, I have a body cam. And I was thinking about putting it on today, but I said, oh, I'm a little bit behind. I left 10 minutes later than usual. I wanted to leave exactly a particular time. I said, let me just go. Now I wish I had the camera. And I would have uploaded and said, does anybody know these people? And shame them. All my life, people try to shame me for things that it's not something I should have been ashamed about. And who really should have been ashamed of those people who were trying to shame me. They were doing horrible things. Yeah, it's about taking your dignity back that people took from you growing up. Take back your dignity. Take it back. They stole it from you. Take it back and start exposing those people who are liars of the truth. People conduct themselves in a nasty way. You have a right to speak out. Don't get too close to them because they could say, "Oh, she tried to hit me." So make sure you don't get too close. So I was maybe 10 feet away from them, or even a little more, so they can't say anything. But I called for what I said. That is nasty. That is nasty. Drinking, having your dog, large dog, and I like dog. I had 3 dogs with me, and I demonstrated. Yeah, the carriage. 2 of them were in I meant to say stroller, and I had a water container for them when they get thirsty. Yeah, I'm a black girl. You should know better, and you probably have more money than I have, right? So you know better, but you don't care. See, they believe their lies so much that they feel that they can just do anything and jeopardize the health of other New Yorkers during the time of COVID and now monkeypox. Monkeypox now is in New York City and Europe. How did this happen? Because you have dishonest people doing evil things to destroy humanity. Let's take back our planet. Let's take it back and clean out the garbage that's in it. I want to live in a beautiful world with beautiful people that care for one another. We're not perfect, but I want to be better. I want to be a better human being. And I'm willing to learn what I need to learn to be a better human being. So this is all that I have to really say, you know. Yes, it's okay to be angry. Even the word Bible says, get angry but sin not, something like that. It's okay to have righteous indignation when it is something nasty. They knew better, this couple. And people wouldn't even know. The people would probably cater to them. But they don't want people like me to live in certain places. And that's what bugs me. So I want to expose people like that so they can see that the illusion of certain groups being better than others, and they're not better than anybody. They're not. They're not. You have people, groups that are master liars of deception. They create illusions of deception to increase their popularity in America, but it's changing. The whole system is going to change, and it's going to be some other person who wants to take control over this domain here. But I say, hey, get a piece of your own domain. Get a piece of your own domain. Start talking to your children. Start educating your children. Now with this, with the information age, the computers, you can start a business on your computer. Why waste your money on the college? They keep changing the rules and all that. If you could start your own business, do it. Do that for your children. Teach. Start grooming your children entrepreneurship, how to love themselves, and community. We need to establish community. Without community, you really, you're at someone else's mercy. And that's the real problem here. We're afraid of one another. We're hurting one another. This is a toxic environment. And it's all lies. It's all based on lies. Learn the truth about yourself and those creatures that are out there who you think you want to worship, and when you find out what they're really about, you say, wow. Start appreciating your natural self, your natural body. Accept the way you look. If you don't like the way you look, take care of your health. And ask for guidance. Ask your maker to guide you, to help you, so you don't have to relive this cycle of despair, of poverty. And it's okay to have a little. You really don't need a lot to live on. Be happy with what you have. Learn to manage what you have in life. Learn how to manage. Like, I want to redo this place. Just it's a lot of clutter. I want to streamline it a little more, so that I can't stand if I bump into things. I'm prone to bruising. I want a simpler life, a simple life. I want a happy life, and I want order in my life. More order in this place, my physical place. It just needs a little tweak, and I have to figure out a way how to do it, to mentally unclog here. Yeah, unclog your life. Unclog your life. Okay. I thank you for listening. And again, this video is not to offend anyone, really. It's just to open up your understanding who I'm all about, and that this is an awakening process for me to learn how to speak out, especially something like that lady, and guy having the dog drink out of the public fountain. You know, I had a right to speak out. Yeah, I don't look for trouble. But when I saw that, I just felt I needed to speak out. I was angry. I was angry because I felt, they're gonna just get away with it, and I'm irritated. Yeah. So yes, thank you for watching this live stream. Uh, Enjoy your day. Enjoy yourself. Hug yourself. Look in the mirror and say that you love yourself in the mirror. Teach your children, if you have children, teach them that they're all right, and that they can be anything they want to be. That they don't have to try to look or act like what they're not. And that's why I'm sharing this live stream, okay? Pull off the illusion and learn to accept yourself, okay? Thank you again. Peace, love, joy, and happiness and wellness be on to you, okay? Thank you again. Thank you for the thumbs up. Until next time, soon. Bye bye.